to the table.
All right, hello. Stop shaking the table. Stop shaking. You're shaking the table. You're shaking the table. Hey, welcome back to another segment of the Entrepreneur's Escape. I am Kanisha. I almost forgot my name. I am Kanisha. I'm here today so that we can talk about crowdfunding. So a lot of people don't really know what crowdfunding is. I'm really going to get right into this video, but before I do, please like, comment, subscribe, share this video with those people that you know who may not know this information but have been looking for it. So first off, we're going to just talk about what crowdfunding is. Crowdfunding, as described on Investopedia.com, the use of small amounts of capital or money from a large number of individuals to finance a new business venture. Basically, that is saying crowdfunding is when you get a lot of people to donate like a little bit of money per person, but it's all going to collect and help fund the business venture that you are going after. For example, like if you get 100 people to donate $10, you got $1,000, and that's what you were trying to crowdfund anyway. Crowdfunding is super duper cool. I really like it. I've actually successfully completed one crowdfunding project that I'll talk about a little bit later when we talk about that specific platform. I'm going to talk about 3 different platforms today. There are so many different crowdfunding platforms that you can look at, and I'm going to link a couple articles in the bio that you can reference if you want to look for some, like the most popular or certain crowdfunding platforms for certain areas of business or whatever. So crowdfunding is usually done via the internet. It's actually, I think it's always done via the internet. Via the internet.
Stupid.
I couldn't find if it's like always or not. So I'm just gonna say usually. Something that's really cool about crowdfunding is that it allows investors to pick the project that they want to fund. If you are someone who wants to donate to someone's project, you can literally go onto this crowdfunding website, any of the ones that I'm going to name or any of the ones that I'm going to link, and you can search through all of the projects for people who need money, and you can pick which one you want to donate to. Your little bit of money is going to help someone a lot of it. Each crowdfunding site has their own restrictions on who can donate and who can't donate. The 3 websites that I'm going to go over today are very specific to certain groups of people. Some crowdfunding websites are a lot more broad and a lot more vague than others, and some of them are very, very, very specific. Another cool thing about crowdfunding websites or crowdfunding overall is that crowdfunding is not a loan. So you're not going to ask for these people to give you this money and then you're going to pay it back, or it's not funded by like a bank or anything. This is just people of the community looking on a website, giving money to someone, and they're not expecting that money back because it's just money that you earn by putting your story out there, which I think is really cool. Some of that might be a loan. I know there's a website, like a program called Kiva, and that is a crowdfunding loan website, but I'm not talking about loans because I don't really like loans. So I like free money, baby. There are different types of crowdfunding. There can be personal crowdfunding, like a lot of us know about GoFundMe. You can also have community crowdfunding, which is like IOB, which we're going to talk about. And then you can also have a business crowdfunding, which would be, I want to say, maybe like Kickstarter or Indiegogo. I'm not sure. I didn't really research those that much. Those are just the 2 top ones that I kept seeing pop up. So different categories for different crowdfunding websites for different people. One huge pro about crowdfunding is that those who go on those websites can raise capital for their business or their project without having to go to a bank and qualify it. But on the flip side, one huge con might be that you may not be able to find a website that you qualify for. Today we're going to talk about IOB, DonorsChoose, and Patreon. I chose these 3 platforms because there are 3 platforms that I either have crowdfunded on, wanted to crowdfund on, or I actually am a patron for one of those websites. We're going to jump right into IOB. IOB is really cool to me because when I was in college, I was a part of this fellowship program. And for the fellowship program, we had to create a social justice campaign, like project for the community. And while I was creating my project, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna need some money for this. I don't know where I would get this money from. And the director of the program told me about IOB, and that's where you specifically go on there for people who are trying to raise money for a community project, literally what I was doing. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I actually never followed through on my IOB project because college is hard, but I've always kept it in the back of my mind, and anyone that I know who wants to raise money for some type of nonprofit program project, I always mention IOB. IOB was founded by Aaron Barnes, Brandon Whitney, and Cassie Flynn in 2008. IOB stands for In Our Backyard, which I think is really cute. I love a good acronym. According to their website, IOB gives local leaders the ability to crowdfund the resources they need to build real change. And that is really what I like about IOB, because when you go on there and you look at the website, there are so many different projects that are specifically tailored to bettering somebody's community, whether it's like growing a community garden or raising money to help give coats or something to the homeless. Like, it's always something that is very extremely selfless and something that is going to build up the community that person is living in. IOB connects leaders with funders and supporters in order to make their community more sustainable, healthier, greener, more livable, or more fun. IOB is a 501c3 who offers fiscal sponsorships, which basically means that donations can be tax deductible, which is awesome because, you know, people like to give their money, but they also like to get the money to be tax deductible so they can put that on their tax and they get that money back. So basically, like, they didn't really get money or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
What?
IOB also offers one-on-one fundraising coaching, which I think is super duper dope because people might want to be a fundraiser, but they don't really know how to raise the funds. And just by you applying and getting accepted into IOB and wanting to do something better for your community, they're offering you a one-on-one coach who's going to help you really get the best out of those funds, which is awesome. A couple of the criteria for IOB is that you must have a public benefit. So for example, like I said earlier, if it's like food insecurity, which means kind of like a food bank, whether it's cleaning up a park, putting art into a neighborhood that really needs a nice little touch on there. If it's going to help the community, IOB is going to put you on their website. Oh, grrr. It can't be for profit, which is something I really, really like. So that's what I was talking about earlier, where I said that some of these crowdfunding websites are very specific. This website is specifically for people trying to raise money that is not going to go into their pocket. The website for IOB would be iob.org, which is ioby.org. So if you really want to check that out, click the link in the description box or just go to iob.org. Website number 2 is going to be DonorsChoose, which I really love. It is so... Anyway, let me just get into it because I just love it. I just think it's so amazing. But basically, long story short, I got a project funded on DonorsChoose. So shout out to Clorox because they funded my project. You heard me. Well, also some people in the community funded it and then Clorox just matched the donations. Let me get into this. DonorsChoose is a nonprofit organization that allows people in the community to donate directly to public school classrooms. And we know I love that because I am a teacher and teachers usually just don't have the money. Like, they have to put all of their own money into their classrooms. So DonorsChoose really is there to help teachers at public schools, though, raise the capital that they need in order to give their students the quality of education that they really want to give them. In 2000, the year 2000, Y2K, there's a history teacher named Charles Best, and he started this program, or this, I guess, website, or, you know, this business. He was like, look, my kids need stuff. My pockets are short. Where, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna match up? He started DonorsChoose, and shout out to him. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Charles. Because of you, my kids are gonna be able to have their own little packages, all cute and tied up with a little name on it, because DonorsChoose funded it. People in the community, like I said, they can go on, they can choose the projects that they want to fund. They can also leave a really cool comment. So shout out to the people who left the comment on mine. These like giant businesses will go on DonorsChoose and they will match the donations that some people left. My project was half funded by Clorox and half funded by members of the community. Another really cool thing about DonorsChoose is that they require you to write a thank you note. And I don't know if the other websites require you to do that, but I think it's a really good idea. And they also are like, in 6 months or whatever, you about to make sure you send us pictures of this project because you're not about to play us. And I really like that because when you donate something as a patron, like if I'm speaking as someone who's paying for something, I would love to see where my money is going, especially if I'm donating to a teacher specifically in a specific classroom that I chose. It would be great for me to see pictures of what happened with that money. That's what DonorsChoose does for the people who are donating. So according to DonorsChoose website, I'm going to read their mission. We make it easy for anyone to help a teacher in need, moving us closer to a nation where students in every community have the tools and experiences they need for a great education. per. Another cool thing about DonorsChoose is that every step is verified. Materials are shipped right to the teacher's school, so there's no mix-up. Every item that is going to be purchased for that teacher's project is actually listed on the DonorsChoose website. Like, for example, if someone is just like wants to have a complete multicultural library, every single book that teacher chooses through all the websites that's connected to DonorsChoose, every book is going to be where the book is coming from, the title of the book, and the price of the book. The website for DonorsChoose is DonorsChoose.org, DonorsChoose.org. You heard me? I would highly recommend that you go to DonorsChoose.org and you pick a project to fund. Also for IOB, like, hello? These are amazing websites. That's why I'm talking about them. The last website we're going to talk about is one that I'm actually, I guess, a patron on. And that is Patreon. And it's special to me for multiple reasons. I love podcasts. I listen to a lot of podcasts. And a lot of the podcasts that I listen to, they have Patreons. So Patreon was founded in 2013. YouTube musician Jack Conte. He had millions of views, but he only had $100 in his account. So he was like, what am I going to do? According to their website, patreon.com, it states, with a subscription style payment model, fans pay their favorite creators a monthly payment amount of their choice in exchange for exclusive access, extra content, or a closer look into their creative journey. So this basically allows artists to retain their creative freedom, and patrons know exactly what their money is helping with. Just like with DonorsChoose and IOB, everything, like, you get to see exactly what your money is helping with. Patreon is really cool to me because you choose whichever package, and you'll either choose a package with like, oh, this package gets exclusive episodes. Maybe you'll get a t-shirt or something like that, you know? So with Patreon, like I said, you get that subscription service and you get to pay for exactly what you want. And I think it's really cool because a lot of the podcasts that I listen to, they'll always mention that episode is with the Patreon. So if you are a member of that Patreon community for that specific podcast or musician or actor or something, you might get to see like a blooper reel from the actor. Or for me, the podcast, I'll get these exclusive episodes. Now, I will say there's one podcast that I was just like not going to subscribe to the Patreon because I'm like, look, I get it for free on Apple Podcasts. But there was one specific episode, and it was one case that I wanted to hear only covered by that podcaster. And I was like, I have to subscribe to this Patreon so that I can hear this podcast. And boom, like, I'm not unsubscribing because it's great quality. And I get all these exclusive episodes that you wouldn't get on the regular free apps. So I think that's really cool. They'll put in that extra work because you're putting in that extra time and that extra dollar. I also love Patreon because it's specifically for creators. So the first one was specifically for nonprofits. Then the next one was specifically for teachers in public schools. And this one is specifically for creators. So whether that's like a musician, an actor, a podcaster, maybe a chef, these people are taking the time out of their day to put their art out into the world. And if you're not an artist, sometimes people who aren't artists don't really understand how nerve-wracking that can be to put your art and your heart and soul into something and not get paid for it. So I think Patreon is really cool. I really recommend you go look at Patreon and see if any of your favorite creators have a Patreon. And I would suggest that you just go and donate maybe $1 or $2 or $3 or $4 or $5, $10 a month, whatever you want to choose. So basically that is the entire video. Those are the top 3 crowdfunding websites that are special to me. If you would like a part 2, and if you would like for me to discuss the top 3 overall crowdfunding websites that are like the most popular, I would love to do the research and bring it to you so that you can have more options on how to raise capital for your business. Good luck. I am so excited to see what you do in your business, your ventures, and I know you're going to be great. Until next time, bye.
You been inside, know you like to lay low. I've been keeping what you bring into the